So my name's Corey Rogers. I'm a carpenter. I've been a carpenter for 25 years for the Carpenters Union. I teach carpenter apprentices. In this class is a doors and hardware class. An essential skill for doors and hardware is learning how to drill and tap. So this is about drill and tap. We're going to drill and tap three types of screws: a 1/4-20 screw, a 12/24 screw, and a 10/24 screw. The other thing is, for drill and tapping, it's a three-step process. You're going to start off with an 1/8" bit. So everyone gets a drill index like this. You got your 1/8" bit. You drill that first, okay, on your layout, of course. Another point is putting tape on your piece of steel like this, doing your layout vertically like it is. Also, the most common drill and tapping that you're going to do for doors and hardware is in a vertical position like this, or overhead above you. So wearing all the proper PPE, your safety glasses, your hard hats, your gloves, your long sleeves, boots, things like that are all going to help with those metal shavings and whatnot. Back to drill and tap. Drill all your pilot holes with your 1/8". Part of the reason is it's cheap, okay, compared to like a number 7, number 25, number 16 drill bits for the others. They're just more expensive, harder to come by, if that makes sense. Okay, so after the drill bit, so we're going to be doing a tap. So this is kind of a close-up view of a tap. Okay, it cuts internal threads. This is a tapered tap. Okay, and this particular one, and it'll even say it on it, is that it's a 10/24. All right, let's get right back into drill and tapping. So I'm going to start off with my drill. Two options for you: a drill motor like this with a clutch, that's important, and on number 1. Okay, you're not going to use a number 2 for this at all. If you do, it speeds up so fast that it's just going to heat up and make that drill bit or tap soft, because it's heating up, and then it dulls. So we're trying our best to keep the drill bits cool. Okay, that makes them last long. Starting off with your 1/8", just like this, and they're nice and good. Everyone's going to have a set or a punch just like this. So I got layout right here. There's a dimple, and what that dimple does, it helps keep your drill bit from wandering around on you. Okay. And then, so I'm drilling 3 holes. Your layout's going to be just like this. Specific pattern, specific holes are going to have specific screws, and you're going to fill them all up with those screws. Okay. For me, I'm just doing 3. Cutting oil is another vital, important part of drill and tapping. So here I dip it. Excess isn't dripping all over the floor. It's a rapid tap. Okay. The reason for this is to keep your bits cool. Once it starts heating up, and also in between each hole, get a little cool your bits down. Okay. On this number 1, I'll go full throttle. Okay, because it's going slow enough, and it's about pressure pushing into it. So, and you should have corkscrews, pieces of metal shavings like this. Means it's a sharp bit. If you don't get this real small or at all, then it's time to swap out your bits. When you drill through, when you get all the way through, make sure the bit spins freely. And last one. I like starting off with, when I'm going to tap, is starting off with the smallest bit, which is going to be our 1024. Okay. With the 1024, you're going to have a number 25 drill bit. Some oil. All right, next technique is I'm going to do full throttle on number 1. And I'm just going to barely hover over that hole until it starts cutting. And then I'm going to slowly add more pressure to it. Right, like that. If I only did this and I skipped an 1/8 inch, I'm going to be using up a lot more 1/8 inch, or excuse me, number 25 bits. Switching over to a tap. So here's a 1024 tap. Like this. Still on number 1, but I got my clutch on. Okay. Make sure you grab some oil. And when I go through with the tap, kind of bumping the trigger. Okay. And at some point I might go in, I might have to reverse out, go back in. You know, if it's a bigger tap, I might have to go do that several times, cleaning out the shavings as I go. And then I reverse. It's got metal shavings. Use your wire brush to clean it off, not your finger. Metal slivers hurt. Clean off excess oil, and then put it away. Now I'm going to switch over to a number 16. That's for a 1224. Okay. Oil. Full throttle. Barely touch it. Start increasing the pressure. It's a good sharp bit, lots of shavings. Okay. Uh, 1224, it's actually going to be written on the tap itself. They're hardened steel, which means it's also brittle. Okay, you can't drill through a tap. Okay, like you can screws and things like that. Over the smooth part of it. Nice and tight. If you got an old worn out drill, it's not going to grab it as well. So you might also have to use a degreaser to clean your tap and also to clean the drill. Oil, just trying to get it just on the cutting tube. There we go. On the clutch. Something else about finished environments, all the metal shavings, you need to protect that from like carpet, flooring, walking on it, being on your boots. So using magnets, things like that to clean up the metal shavings when you're done. Okay, now I'm switching over to a number 7 drill bit. This one's for the 1/4-20 tap. Again, full throttle. Barely cut. Barely cut. Start increasing the pressure. So that's that smoke kind of feeling as it's starting to warm up pretty good. And then you cool your bit down. If I wasn't all the way through my steel, then once you start seeing that smoke, stop, cool your bit down. Otherwise, you might just burn up your bit in one hole. Now I'm switching over to a 1/4 20. You gotta be real careful that if you spin this wearing gloves, it can grab your gloves and twist your fingers in the tap. That oil. Reverse. There's 3 holes. The last step, what you're going to do, using a hand screwdriver, you're going to put screws in. Your hand screwdriver is going to have a number 2. And for the other side, you're going to use a number 3. And the number 3 tip is Phillips tip is going to be for a 12/24 and a 1/4 20. The number 2 only is going to be for that 10/24, the smaller screw. Here's a 1/4 20 screw. Should go nice and easy. If not, still in it, it needs to get cleaned out. And then again with the number 3 for a 12/24 screw. And switching over to number 2. If your screws are crooked, because you tapped it crooked, it'll come up on punch that those are crooked, and the challenge is trying to fix that. That's about the most hardest thing you can do. Starting off nice and square, plumb, so I'm not looking for depth, I'm looking for straightness. Okay? Sometimes people have them all lean in one direction and don't even realize it. So that right there is drill and tapping. Any questions? Okay. Yeah. How did you do, Armando? What do you think?
Finisher right here.
Looks good.
Foamy.
Actually, you know what? That does look absolutely awesome. So nice job. That would pass. If you ask me, that's some good quality work. Nice job.